So I said in my last video that I'm going to film another one based on exactly what I did to swap the engine, some of the tools needed, some of the things that I had to do special. And so sorry about the mess in the garage. I'm sort of trying to create a workspace that is more efficient, but right now, like, I'm just running a bit out of space. Got a few siblings. We all keep our stuff in here. All right. So I'm going to start by showing you guys the old engine, or I'll show you the mower first. So this is a John Deere stx30. Now this one, don't know the exact year. I have another one that's a 1989 that I actually use for mowing lawns. But this one, the old owner said he took it to John Deere and they said the inside of the motor was bad. I pulled the motor apart. There was nothing wrong with the engine. It turns out the magneto was bad, but I didn't test it and it didn't run, and they just said that the inside of the engine was bad. So I had already swapped the engine out, and this has more horsepower anyway, so since I'm not using it for mowing, I don't really need the original engine. So let's walk and look at the old engine. So this is a 9 horsepower Kohler command overhead valve engine. Now this is set up in a manner where I could start it if I really wanted to. The magneto on it is trashed. I mean, it's showing infinite resistance. It is dead. It's got a carburetor, just like every mower seems to, because if it doesn't have carburetor, it's expensive because it's got fuel injection. The engine was we put it back together, we sealed it, we sort of torqued everything, but not going to run it simply because saving it for parts in case my other engine dies. As you can see, I've got it sort of mounted to this table in a kind of rigged manner. Alright, so now over to this mower. Now to swap this engine in, this is off of an old like Craftsman Sears or something. I don't even know. I got the engine for free. So don't have an electric starter because you don't need one anyway, because when they built these motors, if you notice, it's the IC Quiet. Quiet means it's got a plastic flywheel gear. In my opinion, I think that's the only difference really, other than the fact it's overhead valve instead of flathead. And those break just like they are on this one. You can't see it because it's not on that side right now. So I followed Fearless Front's YouTube video on how to make one of these. You drill 3 holes and you just bolt it on. I did actually, though, I had to grind down. There's 3 tabs to get it to fit straight, but that's fine. Alright, and then so this has, for the motor mounts, I couldn't get the 4th one in because of placement, but it's solid with 3, and we have them tightened down real good. You should try as hard as you can if you swap an engine to get all 4 motor mounts in, but this was a dire situation. So you get them in. We had to bore out the holes a bit with a screwdriver so that they would work more efficiently. And so that's just kind of how that worked out. Now, if you come around here, you'll notice that I don't have the linkage really hooked up. Now I'm going to run a foot pedal. I tried hooking up the engine, the wire for the throttle. Tried running it off of this, but it was too long, and I was not smart enough to trim it, and so it sort of just died. Now, so I'm just running this one. It's really hard to twist, and it's got screws, so it's one of them's gone. So they sort of stab you when you try to do it. For the fuel, I'm using this fuel tank off this John Deere, running John Deere line up to this point. That's where it leaks, is on the John Deere side, but it's fine. Then a newer line to the carburetor. Now this has a fuel shutoff solenoid. Oh, this wire got chewed up a bit, just with mice. But I don't have electrics to hook that up to, so I'm running a manual fuel shutoff. If you go around, you'll see my boogered exhaust welds, and that's why it fell off. I didn't like fast as possible just so I could drive it around. I started this up in the last video. I don't know if you guys could see the flames or not. I haven't gone over that footage yet. So this engine has a 5-speed. I haven't actually looked at the transmission. My other John Deere stx30 has a Peerless transmission on it. I don't remember the exact codes. I just know they're extremely expensive if you break them. This could possibly have the Spicer Dana rear end, because I found one that has one of those, and I salvaged it at race. That's in the old video. But I haven't gotten down there to look. Now, I have a slide. I know this is a different model than my other one because it came with different options, like the electric shutoff, and then there was another exhaust heat shield that mine did not have. But I switched over it because it made it so much quieter and it runs so much better because it's colder. When you swap an engine like this, you need to, I'm going to tell you guys the basics of the wiring. Absolute basics right now. Just the absolute basics you need to get these to run. I pulled the cover off the last video. You saw me change magneto. You need the magneto and the kill wire. The magneto runs positive to the spark plug, which grounds and does spark things to help your engine get unicorns flying out of it. And then your kill wire, which I have sort of wired all the way back here, you need a switch on. And to get that switch to work efficiently, if it's in the on position, it means it's grounded, and that means the kill wire is on. When the kill wire is not grounded, it is off, and so that's just the way it is. If you accidentally put power on it, then it's going to, well, it's going to fry your coil. And so here I will show you what I had to do to kind of modify to get it to fit. Table grinder. So this is the part of the old pulley that was on that engine. Now to get it to mount up, there's another pulley on here. Just because of the length of the crankshaft, I needed it to get the bolt to line up right and actually provide some sort of strength. So I stuck this on there and cut it off. This is my old exhaust header that I chopped off because it was too loud and I couldn't bear. Now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you guys what I did underneath the engine. So underneath the motor, here I'm going to hand this back to my cameraman. What do you look underneath the motor real quick? Underneath the motor, it shows here we go. Way down here, we find the light. I'm going to walk around you real quick. You'll see my, don't do this because you can get a shorter bolt. I didn't have a shorter bolt. Once I have this thing running real well, I'm going to get a shorter bolt. Don't use washers. They're not safe. I'm not telling you to use washers. But I took the old pulley, stuck it on the bottom just so that I could actually get it to tighten down. Washers, and then the shortest bolt I had. Local parts shop was closed. I couldn't get anything shorter there anyway, so that's what I ended up with. Eventually I'm going to pulley swap it. It's going to go, hopefully, a fair amount faster because I'd like it to. I'm hoping to get 30, but 20 probably be my max because I'd be scared to drive this thing at 30 miles an hour with the current suspension setup. Alright, so let me back up here. You'll notice all these wires sticking out of the side right here. Now if you look at all these wires, you'll notice they're not hooked up. And that is because I don't need them. This is the kill switch wire. That's the only thing you need to hook up. Kill switch, magneto. If you have an electric start, you'll have the electric start wires hooked up. You'll have to wire to the battery, which if you get a pull start, honestly, it starts just the same speed. You got to make sure to install it right, though, because if it flies off at high speeds, it's very dangerous. You probably shouldn't do a pull starter. But if you absolutely have to, if you have like a covering, like a hood, it's a lot safer. I recommend you use a hood. Oh shoot. That's the basics of this engine swap. It took almost no time at all. And so, that's all I have today. I'll film another YouTube video sometime in the future. I'll show you the rest of my mowers, kind of what I've been doing with them, some more of my equipment. In the future, I might make some videos about this car over here. Just kind of leave in the comments what you'd like to see, and I'll try to get it out. Thank you.